I'd like to call to order the January 25th, 2023 regular town council meeting. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item 3 is public comment. I have one signed up.
Get a roll call first.
Oh, I did want to. Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Aurelio.
Here.
Mr. Blazak.
Present.
Mr. Pondinas.
Present.
Mr. Swets.
Present.
Mr. Schilling.
Here.
Mr. Wizawadi.
Present.
Mr. Westland.
Present.
And Beth Hernandez, present.
Thank you. We have quorum. Move along to public comment. I see one signed up. Vanessa Kutzen.
To Mike Schilling and Council. I'm Vanessa Knutson, 11745 West 105th Avenue. Over a year ago, I accidentally discovered some issues concerning St. John Town Council government. Then I attended or viewed all YouTube or 2022-2023 Town Council meetings, the official St. John Town Council page, and other St. John related pages, statements, and individual videos. First, it was very revealing, by the way. Thank all of you for your long work on routine St. John business. However, some town council decisions appear, in my opinion, to show a St. John political machine may be being built. Last April, the Parks Board was abruptly dissolved. Parks and volunteer-led recreation and events were both handed over for direct supervision by one councilman, Mr. Aurelio, who is the only councilman to pick his advisors for park and recreation. Apparently today, a new Parks and Recreation Board is being created. But what a way to push out, possibly, so many quality volunteers. What happened to team building, to council, instead of destroying, instead choosing to work with the existing quality volunteers to carefully grow both programs? Is it possible some St. John new hires are replacing some of the St. John quality volunteers? Sad, as people are the most valuable resource this town has, quality people. And in the special January 11 meeting, I question, some people on other committees were removed or replaced. Were all removed for cause? Or will we find some possibly removed, as was suggested to me, because they might not make a desired recommendation? Watch and see. There are more possible indications of machine building and beginning patronage that I don't have time to discuss. Machine building instead of team building. Watch and decide for yourselves, political science students, investigative reporters, and especially St. John Town residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else for public comment? Hearing none, we'll go to approval of the minutes. You have the minutes in front of you for the December 29th, 2022 meeting, and also the special meeting on July 11th, 2023.
I'd like to make a motion to approve December 29th, 22 and January 11th special meeting of 2023.
I got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Moving along, we have bid openings. First one's going to be for the 93rd project.
Okay. So you have two.
Mr. President. You have two bid openings, the 93rd Avenue project and the Parks grass mowing for 2023, the otherwise known as the landscaping maintenance proposal. I've reviewed the proofs of publication for both, and they are in order and compliant. First is the 93rd Avenue. You have 3 bids that were received. First one is from Millstone Contractors North out of Griffith.
A lot of pages there.
Yeah, there are.
And since you don't open them early, you can't find the magic page.
Oh, the base bid total is $3,850,781.
Say it again.
$3,850,781.
And who is that?
Millstone.
Millstone.
And you have an alternative 1-1 and an alternative 1-2. The total for the alternative number 1 is $72,440. That was easy to find. Second one is Reith Riley. Their base bid is $4,066,030.98. And the alternative bid is $72,440. And then lastly is FH Passion. Base bid, $3,686,221.31.
221?
221.31.
Yes, $3,686,221.31.
Where are they from, Dave?
Passion is Michigan City. And their alternative the alternative bid is $72,735.79. Those are the 3 bids received for the 93rd Avenue project.
This way?
Yeah, sorry.
Could we entertain the motion to authorize first group to review the bids, make a recommendation to the town, and then authorize the town manager to execute contract upon that.
I don't know what your timetable is for executing the contract. It's appropriate to have first group engineering review it.
Right.
So I'm fine with that motion. But after that recommendation, it's up to the council whether they just want to go with that. or
Well,
they-
me personally, I'd prefer the council take action on it.
So, yeah, why don't we make a motion to refer to
Just
first
refer it,
group?
yeah. And Evan, did you have something to say on that?
Just the timeframe on it, if you're not gonna approve.
You can come up to that mic here real quick, yeah.
I'm just concerned on our timetable for construction, as if we're not gonna approve this until the next town council meeting, we would need to turn POs around very quickly and contract documents signed on your guys' side, as well as the contractor side, in order for them to start approximately March or April 1st, as they've been likely planned on. So we have previously, with other clients, had the town council grant the power to the town manager after our recommendation, just so that those documents can get signed, not at the town council meeting. But if you guys are more comfortable with it coming back to the town council for the recommendation to approve as a whole, we can likely do that, but it does reduce our time frame to get contracts turned around in time to start for a March, April start date.
Can we have your name and firm, please?
Oh, Evan Lavalette with First Group Engineering.
I'll make the motion to take the bids under advisement. I won't make the motion.
What would you recommend, Mike?
As a president,
I
you
can-
can't make motions.
I would do
Oh,
this
yeah,
one.
you
Say-
cannot make motions.
Well, I've been used to making motions. I'll entertain a motion to take the bids under advisement and pending engineering review, allow the town manager to execute.
So moved.
I'll support that.
I have a motion by Brian Blazak. I have a second by Jerry Swets. Any discussion?
If I may, I will once we have the recommendation from the engineering, we will share all of that with the council, the clerk, so everyone is aware of that information.
If any kind of legal review is needed, of course, you'll
Yeah.
do the same. All that'll be included.
Okay.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, the second one is the parks grass mowing for 2023. You have one. It is from Great Lakes Landscape Management with a P.O. box in Cherville. So this says there's a total of approximately 114.7 acres of cutting and trimming. Parkland may be added or subtracted from the list. The cost per acre, $23.27. Total cost of one complete weekly cut, $2,670. Total cost of complete annual cuts, which is $77,430. Cutting would take place on Monday and Tuesday.
And Mr. President, if we could refer that to the park board for consideration.
All right, that's fine. I'll entertain a motion to defer to the park board.
So moved.
Second.
I mean, until an ordinance is passed, right, you have a
Park
park
Advisory Board.
advisory board, so I guess I would ask that the motion say the park advisory
On
board
the
or their
creation-
successor,
Can you say?
the park board.
There you go, on the creation of the park board.
So if the motion could say that, that'd be great.
It's fine.
Yeah, we'll amend it on the creation of the park board or the, whatever, yeah, the park board that will exist at the end of this meeting.
I
Second.
got a motion, I got a second. All in favor, by say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 5-0. Moving along, old business,
Ordinance numbers 1789, an ordinance creating the Department of Parks and Recreation and repealing and amending Chapter 15, Parks and Recreation.
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance 1789 on second reading.
I got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I got,
Do I have any discussion?
yeah, I'd like to discuss something. On the last meeting, I voted no, but the newspaper had me that I was against the park board. I was against what happened with the park board, so I don't want to have that taken out of context, that I'm against the park department or the park board. When I was on a liaison, that park board did 3 basketball courts, redid them, a tennis court, mulch in the parks. They created summertime help. They trimmed branches on the walking paths. They did the skate park. They did the park next to the skate park. Finished the Founders Park, what was started. We shoveled walking paths. The community garden was started. So for people to say that that was a rogue board and they weren't listening, that's truly false. I don't like what happened. And now the park board was disbanded. Now we got to pay a lawyer to do the fees to reinstate it. And there was probably some fees associated with disbanding it. So those are my comments on that. I'm all for the parks board. And I think, Mr. Westland, you can correct me, but don't you have to have a park board to get certain grants? If you don't have a park board, you can't get grants, or you can get some, but you can't get all.
I'm not a grant writing person.
Okay.
It's my understanding that you're correct, that there are certain grants that require to be submitted by a park board. I believe you are correct. I've never done
Right.
it personally, but I think you're right.
So, and for somebody to say that I was against that is just totally false, but those are my comments. But thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Wayne.
So I'd like to add a few comments, if it's okay. I do want to point out, I know that Wayne and I have had some friction on this, but I do want to point out a few of those items that are a little slightly misleading, is that the skate park was approved, the old park board did approve that, but the new advisory committee, along with the parks and the town manager, got that project done on time, on budget, and very, very quickly. Also, the lingering Founders Park, which was lingering for a year or more, was completed quickly by, again, building and planning through proper permitting, oversight, town manager, and the Parks Committee, and also the current, Michael O'Shea, the current superintendent, finished that quickly. It sat there for a year and a half, and it got completed in 3 months once we got our hands on that. So I just want to factually correct some of those.
Well, that was factual, because that was already set up, and I spent days out there. I spent 7 days a week out there, twice a day, till it opened up. And then what happened for a photo op? You have two councilmen come in there, oh, look at what we did for a photo op. I spent a lot of time out there, and so did the park board, and, you want to bring that up, factual.
It's great that you were there. That's welcome, for sure, is wonderful, but I just don't want you discounting what everybody else did as well.
I'm not discounting them. I'm giving credit where credit is due.
I'm just pointing out that was finished and completed under the new
That's not true.
superintendent, and it is true.
No, it's not true, but we'll agree to disagree.
Any
all
other
my
discussion? Okay, I'll need a vote on this, please. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next item of business, I need to entertain a motion to rescind prior town council action which authorized payment of no greater than $297,650 for certain right-of-way and construction access at 11211 West 93rd Avenue, St. John, Indiana.
Mr. President, if I may, Evan, if you can kind of, under the next two items are kind of related, so I would like to have Evan come up and kind of explain what we had discussions about on this, and why there's a change on this.
Evan Lavalette, First Group Engineering. So the original number that we had given you guys when we sat down last month, the 297, that was under the assumptions that the church was going to be donating the permanent right-of-way, as well as all the improvements, the trees, the landscaping, the fence, that was all part of the discussion for what was going to be donated through second appraisals. And once the church was given some of those numbers, it wasn't clear the just compensation that were due to the owner. The right-of-way numbers were included in that final number they were given. So that's why we went back to you guys, kind of explained all that, got the 297. The church has since had some opposition to the 297 number. They feel the property is worth, the home itself is worth $315,000 per their own independent appraisals. So they were looking to get something closer to that dollar amount. So the current proposal would be to pay them for the temporary right-of-way and the home, which would bring them closer to this current number of 309 that we are asking that you approve tonight. This, with our latest talks with the church, this is the number they are comfortable with accepting. It's just a matter of things needed to be explained to everybody. And once it was broken down, they are agreeable to working with us to make this project happen, but they are looking to get a little bit closer to what they feel the property is worth. So, Joe, if you would elaborate on that anymore, council members, if you have any questions.
Basically, we're picking up what, 12, they're picking up 12 grand.
Yeah, from the 297 to
right.
the 309, yes. Which is a lot to do with the land improvements that aren't being donated anymore.
Understand.
So we own the house then?
You will be, through this acquisition, you'll be owning the house and demoing it with the project, yes.
And the demo is in our,
And the demo is in the bids that were
in the
just
bids,
opened.
right.
I do have one more question. Somebody in town asked me to find out if it's possible that we can see if there's somebody who would like to acquire that building and move it, because it is a historical building, it's been around town a long time. Is that something that could be part of the process, or would that
It
slow
could
everything
become
down?
part of the process. It's definitely, I'm not privy to how much it costs to move a house.
I was just gonna say, who would handle, would we have to handle getting bids to move it, or would it be up to the church, or?
No, that would be,
I would object to taxpayer dollars being spent on that.
I
or
agree.
A delay to the project.
Right.
Although I entertain if somebody wanted that, if they were fully insured, no risk to the town, they paid for everything, I'd be open to such a thing, but not to delay the job and
Right,
spend
exactly.
taxpayer dollars on that.
Yeah, it would,
right.
the house could stay for quite, almost to the end of the project, it could stay. So timeline-wise, it may not have great effects on us. It would be, though, yeah, it would all probably independent of the town paying for it, it's something, however it's going to be done. We'd pull the demo from the project. I don't see it having great effects on construction, because again, that house can stay there and the contractor can get everything accomplished. It would be a real hand-holding type situation to make sure that something like that could happen. It's feasible, though I don't know if it's in the cards current,
I just wanted to throw out there was an option if somebody really wanted to keep that house, that would be a way to do it, so. Okay, thank you.
And normally it doesn't take them, the professionals, doesn't take them long to move buildings.
Okay.
Not these days.
Yeah, so timeline-wise, it sounds feasible, but we would be some hand-holding to go along with
Need a place
everything.
to
Right,
Yeah, that's probably a discussion for another day.
right.
Okay.
If we want to move that to a special, some special meeting where everybody sat down, we had some discussions on that or something.
All right.
So if I could ask Dave, in terms of the motion to rescind the prior action, can we just do one motion to rescind and then motion to accept the new, or would you prefer them to do separate?
Either way, as long as you could do it together, as long as it's clear.
If we do them together, I think I brought it up the last time, that end, the last line on that, in that second paragraph, that and other related documents for the year 2023, West 93rd Avenue and US 41 project for the town manager to sign off on that. I think town manager just sign off on the closing documents and then that's it. because you never know what's gonna come up. It might be something big, and I think that the town council should be aware of anything big.
Evan, what's the pleasure for first group on that in terms of the closing documents? I mean,
Okay.
And this is the name of the
Back-
project. It's not.
I mean, we need it acquired as soon as possible would be best. Again, that could go alongside of you awarding the contract. It may start to
Yeah.
interfere with the actual construction schedule if we don't have it.
what I'm asking is are there any other specific documents other than the closing
Oh.
documents that are going to need to be signed to get this property done?
Formal property offer.
Yeah, I think.
And that's it?
The appraiser has to be presented to the town, and then of course to the,
So you okay leaving it the way it is?
and we need that authorization from the town, so we can say this is the amount agreed to and get that drawn up.
Yeah, Dave, what?
Well, you know,
I mean, to Wayne's
in the
point.
language, it says sign the offer agreement.
Not to
and
exceed.
closing documents, right?
Period.
Like-
Yeah, so it should be okay then.
Yeah. I mean,
That would be fine.
yeah.
All right. Thank you.
So do we have the motion in place, or you need?
No, we don't have a motion yet. I entertain a motion for item 2 there. Anybody?
So we need a
need to do
motion.
one as well, right? So
Do we need a motion for items 2 and item 3 to tie them together?
2 and 3, yeah.
I entertain a motion to rescind the prior town council action, which was to authorize the payment of no greater than $297,650 and no cents for certain right-of-way and construction access at 11211 West 93rd Avenue.
So moved.
Okay, I have a
Second,
motion. Do I have a second?
second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Now, item 3, I'll entertain a motion to acquire certain property for public right-of-way and construction access at 11211 West 93rd Avenue, St. John, Indiana, for no greater than $309,600 and no cents, and to authorize the town manager to sign offer, agreement, closing documents, and any other related documents for fiscal year 2023 West 93rd Avenue at the US 41 intersection.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. Do I have any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item 7, financial matters for the corporation. In front of you, you should have a request to purchase. There's 11 of them there.
So I'll make a motion to pay the RTPs in the amount of $268,317.42.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Do I have any discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to bring up that today we got two requests to purchase for two vehicles, one for the building department, and then one to have as a spare, a town pool vehicle. I'm okay with doing the one for the building and planning, but to have an extra pool car, I don't think we need that right now. I talked to Joe about it. I gave him my concerns. But today, when I came back for some papers, we got a Parks truck that's sitting out here, a second park truck. No one's using it. It had snow all over it. You had 526, which is a building and planning truck sitting there. No one moved it. I think it's not good. It's all coming out of ARPA money, but I think we need to reserve some of our ARPA money for other things. Last year, when we had a different town manager, we had the opportunity to get two trucks at $22,000 each. We chose to use one, and I said we could get a second one, but we said, okay, we'll hold off. Now we're going to pay another $5,000 more. I agree with the pickup truck, but I don't agree with the Traverse. So that would put our request to purchase up to $236,057.42. That's my opinion and what I think we should do. We should be good stewards of our money.
Any other discussion?
Are you saying that this total does not include the second truck, Wayne?
It,
No, the total there includes
it does. I don't know if it's 258. I got a different, I had the one without the two trucks. So if you add the one truck for building and planning, it's 236, 057, 42. If you add the other one, then it's a 258, whatever you have in front of you, Mike.
So, let me ask a question, Joe. So this second Traverse SUV, so I understand why we would have town vehicles for department heads. We're not gonna have them, you're not gonna have a chief of police driving around his own car, or the Parks Department, the superintendent drive around his own car, or building and planning, drive around his own car. So I understand that. So what is the usefulness of this second vehicle? What is it's gonna be used for?
Well, the usefulness for this is a pool vehicle. So for instance, if a town department head, which would be effectively Sergio, Jason, myself, or the clerk treasurer's office, need to use it, need to go to the bank, make a deposit, that they would be able to use it for that instead of their personal vehicle. It's something that, you know, we currently would have to take a vehicle out of service from the building department in order to do that. The reason that the Parks vehicle is here is because the 526 is not running.
Well, 526 is the white one.
Right.
Okay.
And it's not in operation. So Larry said before he left, it's basically outlived its usefulness. So that's why we got the Parks truck, because it wasn't being used. But it's not right that we're using the Parks vehicle for building and planning for the inspector. So that's why we wanted to get the vehicle for the building and planning department. And I agreed with you, to your point, that, yeah, they should have probably went ahead and got the two vehicles, you know, at the 22,000. That would have been a perfect opportunity. However, that didn't happen, and that's why we're here today.
Okay, so it was useful then, so it's probably useful now. It'd be nice to get that better deal.
Well, Larry
Yeah,
said
and
the
these are
one's
through
trash,
state bids,
yeah.
so there is a savings on the vehicle. These are vehicles that another community did not pick up. So we have an opportunity to pick these up, and that opportunity may not be there.
But we're buying an awful lot of vehicles, and I don't have nothing against
We
the.
buy a lot of vehicles.
We
I mean,
got a
yeah.
Dodge Durango, two more Durangos, two more Ford,
Yeah.
Explorers. We're letting ARPA money burn a hole in our pocket. Now,
Well,
we could use some of that money maybe to go put back in roads or something else.
but we did have factored into this equation 75,000 for the two vehicles. The total cost on this is about 60,000, so we're saving about 15,000 out of the ARPA money that we did originally have earmarked for this.
So I do recall through the budget process, we were budgeting for two vehicles.
Right, and we took it out of the budget and put it in the ARPA funds.
So when it was 75,000, if I recall, for the vehicles, and this is coming at a 61. Is that right? Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes.
Okay.
Any other discussion? I had a motion on the floor, I have a second. Do I have any other discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Nay, I'm approving everything but the second vehicle, so.
Might need to adjust the motion then.
No, the motion was the original one.
Basically, Mike, you guys are gonna vote it in. I'm not gonna sign off on that vehicle.
Okay, no problem.
The motion carries 4-1.
Okay.
All right, item 2 is the accounts payable voucher dated January 25th, 2023, representing payment for payroll purchases, supplies, equipment, services rendered to the town of St. John in the combined total of $3,577,275.15. Should have the docket there in front of you.
I'll make a motion to approve the accounts payable voucher for $3,577,275.15.
I'll second that.
I got a motion, I got a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item 3, consider encumbrances for fiscal year 2022 totaling $517,302.74. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Got a motion by Brian. Anybody with a second?
I'll second.
Got a second by Jerry. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Ordinance and resolutions. Resolution number 2023-01-25, a resolution authorizing appropriation transfer. This resolution authorizes the transfer of appropriations within the 2023 budget for the American Recovery Plan Act funds for the Town of St. John Police Department, the amount of $197,002 even for fire equipment, from fire equipment to uniforms, contractual, and vehicles.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2023-01-25.
I got a motion, I have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Next up, consider agreement of services between the St. John Township and the Town of St. John for firefighting and emergency services protection for 2023. Kathy LaRue's here to give a presentation from the township.
Hello.
Good evening, Kathy.
How's everyone? Here we are again, this time of year. You have before you, I believe, the fire agreement. State statute requires me to have this done by January 31st. The agreement is exactly the same as last year. The only difference is there's a board-approved 5% increase from last year. So I don't know if you have any questions, if you want me to give you any more detail. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
I have nothing. Anybody have anything?
No.
So then I would just be looking, that this gets approved and we can get it signed tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I look forward to working with you guys again. Thanks.
Us as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Are you going to be here for after the meeting?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agreement of services between St. John Township and the Town of St. John for firefighting and emergency service protection for 2023, and authorize the town council president to sign.
So moved.
Second.
I got a motion, I have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item 2 here, amendment of the interlocal agreement between the Town of St. John, Sherrville, and Lake County, Indiana. You have anything on this, Joe?
Yeah, so we had the numbers corrected to reflect the actual amounts that each entity was going to be paying with respect to the agreement for 85th. So the town of Sherrville will be paying $172,515.08, and the Lake County will be paying $122,991.57. These amounts were paid by the town of St. John out of general fund money, so these monies will be paid to the town and reimbursed accordingly. And this would be approved as an amendment to the original agreement.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the amendment of the interlocal government agreement by the town of St. John, Sherrville, and Lake County, Indiana.
So moved.
And authorize town manager to sign.
So moved.
Second.
No,
Have a-
it's the town council president, I believe.
Oh, town council president on this one? All right, town council president. Your motion still good, Mike?
Still good.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next up on the list, consider acceptance of performance security for St. John Commons Phase 1 in the amount of $158,289, no cents. Received a favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission on January 4th, 2023. We have an irrevertible letter of credit issued by People's Bank.
So moved.
Support.
I have a motion, I have a second by Jerry Sweats. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
I guess this one be delayed.
So for soccer shots, all right.
Yes, if you don't mind, I'd like to see that one go into the Parks Board, them decide on that. And
Okay, do I have a motion, or can I entertain a motion to defer item 4 to the Parks Recreation Board?
So moved.
I have a motion, I have a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Consider appointments of individuals to the Park and Recreation Board. You guys should have the list there in front of you.
What list?
What are those? They're the members from the Park Recreation Board.
So the makeup of the Park Board needs to have political party kept in mind, unlike the commission. So we are only able to have one additional member of each party than the other. I have that correct? So if you have 2 Republicans, you can not have any more than one more of the other party. So we get 4, we get the seat 4. So we have an independent and 2 Republicans, we need to have either an independent or a Democrat.
You can't have more than 2 of one party. Right.
Right.
So where's the,
Well, these are people that are on the Park Advisory Board.
So what I would ask, and we've talked about this a little bit, is that I would recommend the same people that are on the commission, that we can fit into the Republican and Democrat parameters. So Barb Toosey, she is an independent. I'd like to have her nominated. Dave Beeshold and Mike Moffett would be Republicans. So those 3, and then what I would ask is we seek applications for another independent or Democrat. So I'd ask that Barb Toosey, Dave Beeshold, and Mike Moffett get appointed to the Park Board at this time, and we seek applications for the other.
Can, council, would we have to state the terms to expire dates?
Yeah, so I gotta go back to your ordinance.
1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yep.
Correct.
So, I don't
So
know.
if you want to do 4-3-2 or something like that, I mean, however the council wants to do it,
You've gotta slot them, yes.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to not slot them and have to come back and clean it up later.
Sounds good. So it needs to be 1, 2, 3, 4?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
So the suggestion would be to go to 4 with, who did you have first?
Barb Toonsley?
Well, you got Beeshold and Moffett.
Right. Correct. So maybe do Dave Beeshold 1, Mike Moffett 2, and Barb 3? Would you be
No.
okay with it?
the other way around, won't do one of them for 4, so whoever your new appointment is gonna be is only gonna be for the first year.
Okay, okay.
So I would suggest that, who's your chairman now, the president?
Mike Moffett is the chairman.
Okay, so maybe do him for 4 years,
Okay, 4 years.
Beasold for 3, Barb Tousley for 2, and you save that one spot for whoever your 4th appointment will be.
That sounds reasonable.
Is that your motion?
Do
That'll
I
be
have a
my
motion on the floor?
I will support that.
I have a motion, I have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
I say no. We should have had interviews, we should have had applications, and you thought we had a list, Mike, and this is just forcing people down. We're just forcing people into doing things. That's not right.
I don't think so. I think at the last meeting, these names were all on the list. I'm not sure why it's not on this here.
We didn't have a
This
list.
is no secret. That's totally false. You know,
I mean, everything's
and
totally
all these-
false
all
with you.
these-
That's wrong.
Well, that's only when it is. And so we all knew these names. We all know who these people are.
I
They're
know
on
the names.
current park commission. And this was on the list before.
And they're not on a
even Mike
park
thought there was
commission, they're on
this.
an
It's just
advisory
not-
board.
It's just not the case.
And what did you say the last time in the last meeting? It was political when we were appointing people. This is political.
That's what
You
you
brought
said.
that up, not me.
You said.
Those were your words.
I think that was you.
Really? Go look at the tape.
Okay. Item 6 is the appointment of council liaisons. I'm gonna leave them as the same as they were last year. I got, Brian Blazak will serve on the Board of Zoning Appeals, the Plan Commission, and the Stormwater Management Board. Mike Aurelio will serve on the EDC Park Advisory Committee. Wayne Pondinas will serve on the Water and Sanitary Boards. Jerry, you'll serve on the Safety Village and NERC. And myself, I'll be on the Safety Committee, the Lake County Solid Waste, and the Chamber of Commerce.
Can I get just correct? It'll be the park board because it's the new park board.
Yeah, Park Board. All right. He'll serve on the Park Board.
Thank you.
Yes.
I don't mean to interrupt, but when you were making a motion for the fire agreements, I believe you said to authorize the town manager.
No, that was.
Then they changed it and
Yeah, I
corrected
did
it to
correct
have
that.
the-
That was the second one, this is the second motion that you made, right? I just want to make sure we've got it straight, that it's the town council president.
Correct, that's correct. That would be correct, Kathy.
Okay, 'cause like I said, I thought there was another motion made after mine, so I just wanted to make sure it's authorized. by the president.
Oh, safety. He was on safety.
So,
Right down Safety Village.
would we need to take have a motion and a second on
It's on the board.
liaisons, or no?
What's that? Yeah, we need a motion. to
Safety,
approve.
Police and fire.
To appoint him as he just read them.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
It's the same as it was.
Did you catch that, Wayne?
Yeah, I didn't get my.
Okay, so there was a motion and a second to approve the liaison appointments as Mr. Schilling read them.
Yeah, she was just trying to figure out what Mikey's on, what board.
Oh, Safety Board, the Lake County Solid Waste, and the Chamber of Commerce.
So I'll move that again in case that wasn't in there. Need a second again.
I have a motion. I have a second. Do I have-
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Staff reports. First, we have Town Engineer Tom Nagel.
Good evening, President and Board. It's a pleasure to be here. I was asked to give a report on what's been happening in the past 3 months, and to be serious, there's a lot that's been happening. So I have like a 10 or 15-minute presentation going through each project phase that we're doing. I broke it up into buckets. We got a transportation bucket, and we got a water bucket, a sanitary bucket, and a stormwater bucket. So starting out with the transportation, today we applied for a community crossing matching grant. And what that is, it's a 50% grant up to $1 million max. So if you get a $2 million job, you maximize what your grant could be up to $1 million. If you do a $3 million job, you still only get $1 million on it. And those streets were chosen, were 93rd Street from Fairbanks to Deodore, Deodore from Ellie to 89th, Parrish 89th to 85th, and White Oak 93rd to 109th. So that's in the application process right now. It appears to be good, but we cannot guarantee we'll get the funding for CCMG. We also been working with Bob Davis on putting together a multi-year plan for CCMG. We always want to try to take advantage of the $1 million funding, and right now we got a 2.5-year plan. We want to build it out to be a 5-year plan, put it on the map, make sure the board can see it, everybody can see it, and everybody can comment on it too. So we're working with TSCA right now on a corridor study, and the corridor study is pretty exciting stuff. It's going from on 101st Street from the state line, going all the way over to the east to Saddle Creek Drive, which is about a mile west of Calumet. From Calumet Avenue going south from 101st to 109th, and then from 109th, we're going to go from Calumet Avenue all the way over to Klein. The total distance is 7.5 miles. And what TSCA is tasked with is to develop a vision for the 3 corridors. Each corridor may have a different vision on it, and they're going to be doing it, looking at future land use, character and design, and transportation improvements needed. In order to get the community buy-in, there's going to be a lot of community meetings on this. The first one is the stakeholder meetings, which is on February 8th. And the stakeholder meetings are people that are adjacent to these corridors, the big developers, the big businesses, the churches, and we also invited the who's who in the industry on the transportation, like Lake County Transportation, NDOT, to come to the stakeholder meetings. The stakeholder meetings was decided that Robinson nor the staff should be at, that TSCA should be running this, and there should be an open communication with all the stakeholders, so they won't feel like influenced by previous decisions the staff made or that the engineer made. In March, there's going to be a community-wide workshop with it, where the whole town's going to be invited, and there'll be a charrette and a display put on, and trying to get people's ideas. Once that TSCA gets all the input from everybody, they'll come back and they'll make proposals to the board on how they feel these corridors should look. So if you can imagine, they're trying to get a feel and a flavor for entering St. John. They want people to know when they enter town that they're in your town. They want to do special lighting, landscaping, right-of-way signs, curbing, roadway, all that kind of stuff, so you get an idea that you're in St. John. So that's going on. There's also 4 roundabouts that's being proposed right now. The first 2 roundabouts are St. John projects. That's at Calumet and 101st, where the corridor study's going, and at White Oak and 109th. Calumet and 101st is estimated to be completed in 2026, and White Oak and 109th in 2027. NDOT, we're lucky enough, NDOT's going to be doing 2 roundabouts for the community. They're doing them on their roads on Parrish Avenue and 109th, and they're also doing it on Klein Avenue at 109th. They indicated they want to do both of these projects in 25 and 26. We're going to hopefully persuade them to stagger them, because if we do both of them at the same time, the detour routes would be very, very immense. Also going with the transportation, it also goes with the water bucket, is that when we're done with the water main on Acorn Drive, we're going to be resurfacing Acorn Drive, 96th Avenue, and Acorn Court. And lastly, of course, you know what's going on 93rd Street that the first group is doing too. So that's pretty much all the transportation jobs. Now we'll talk about the water jobs. The big one that we're working on right now that we're in the permit process is Acorn Water Main. Acorn Water Main, on Acorn Drive, they have a 6-inch water main that was constantly breaking. It was really, really cumbersome for the residents, and the town decided to replace the water main. We got the plans done. It's in the permitting process. We're putting an 8-inch water main in, and that project should get a permit in about 60 days, and we'll be going out to bid. The plan is we start the project as soon as the springtime when we get the permit, and then the project will be done in the fall of 2023 before the asphalt plants close. In looking at the water system, we looked at the water use you've been getting from Sherrville. Currently, the town is getting charged by Sherrville for about $500,000 a year per providing drinking waters on peak months. That means your water system can't keep up with it, so you're getting supplement from Sherrville. That is a big issue, and obviously everybody knows we're trying to get the wells to work. The next project we're going on right now to try to limit that amount of money going out is wells 8 and 9. Wells 8 and 9 are drilled already, and they're test pumped. We're doing a design for the well house and the water main needed for it. That project will be done probably in 2024 for water starts coming out of the wells at that time. We also found out some great news on your pilot study. The pilot studies were testing media for your current filter systems to load them at a higher rate. And we need to get IDEM's approval on it. And what we found out then the first well that we did, which is well 8, and we're doing well 7, we're doing well 8 and well 9. Well 8 is done now, and well 8 we're finding out that we get 50% more capacity by changing the media out. What that means to the towns, you literally saved multi-million dollars by not having to build another filtration plant by changing the media out. We're doing well 7 right now, as far as the pilot study is concerned, and we're going to do well 9 when the weather either dries up or freezes out. If it freezes over, we'll be able to get out there. If not, we'll have to wait till the spring to do it. When this study is done, and it's indicating right now it's a 50% increase by changing the media out, it'll be sent down to IDEM, and IDEM will do the approval on it. Peerless Midwest is the company leading it up, and we are assisting them with that. We're also with wells 8 and 9, because of additional flows, we need additional filters. And we're looking at a new filtration plant for wells 8 and 9. And at this time, we are working with a developer on some property. And there's a property issue, and Mr. Wizawadi's working on that. It's not going to preclude us from going forward. And when wells 8 and 9 are done, they'll be able to pump water to the Gates treatment plant for filtration there. So we'll have the capacity, and we get the media changed out there, we're going to have the capacity in the filtration. So your supply and your filtration is going to be going up. There's a Route 41 water main that's going to be replaced. That's going to go right about where Elsop Nursery is and down to about 107th Street. We're working on that with easements, routing, and cost estimates. And there's various water mains throughout the town that need interconnecting too. One of the things that was done that we were authorized to do is to do a hydraulic computerized model. And what the model is going to do is going to find the most efficient way to transport water from your sources and from your filters to the rest of your town. If you could visualize your town, your sources are on the south side of your town. We got to get water up to the north side of town. The model will identify bottlenecks, dead end reductions, fire flow problems, pressure problems, and water age. Water age goes association with water quality. But most importantly, it's going to be a tool we're going to use for future development so that we have justification to attempt to make the improvements needed to suffice them. Right now, we don't know what the developer needs to put a 12-inch in or 8-inch in. And in the past, there was 8 inches going in, which we're looking back in hindsight, it could have been 12 inches to help us out for the future development downstream. But there could be pump station improvements we could ask the developer to do. There could be additional water main sizes to go in, and the model is going to tell us that, and it's going to be able to stand by it. Some smaller jobs we're doing, we're looking at 2 altitude valves at the Hack Street elevated tank and the Kilkenny elevated tank. It's going to allow the water department to run a little more efficiently with that. With all this work going on, we need IDEM interaction on it. We've been discussing the project with IDEM. IDEM's excited to be on the ground floor, and they want to hear everything that's going on. They want to try to help us achieve the goals too. And because of all the costs associated with this, we've also discussed it with the Indiana Finance Authority to determine what the best way to finance some of the projects. Indiana Finance Authority currently offers a low-interest loan at 2.1%. I'm not sure how long they're going to hold that number, and they don't know what it is. Another thing they bring to the table is that they could give loans for 35 years for water mains and 20 years for sanitary, or 20 years for any other type of projects on it. So with all this, we discussed it with the water board, and there's going to be a workshop with the water board, and it's going to probably take about an hour, maybe an hour and 50 minutes to go in depth on all these projects. It'll be open to the public. We encourage you to go. You obviously will know the date that we're going to be doing it. Mr. Wizawadi is going to set that up. Jumping into the sewer right now, it's kind of not a pun, but going into the sewer items right now, the town is currently charged about $1.2 million a year for treating wastewater. And it appears to be trending upward every single year. It's been trending up there because of either we're getting more rainwater into the sewer or getting more people in town, but it makes sense. Some of the rainwater is getting into your wastewater. We see that from the hydraulic analysis that we did from the clerk provide us information on the billings and the quantities, and we looked at the rainfall data, and it's a direct correlation. When we have additional rain, we have additional wastewater flows. And so really what we want to do is we want to try to reduce the inflow and infiltration to try to save money for you. And working with the Public Works, we're looking at the areas that have the highest inflow and infiltration will be a candidate for it. And there's no guessing about this. I mean, they pretty much know where they're at. They're talking about Lantern Woods, Homestead Acres, Lancer Estates, and the older subdivision in the central part of town. These are the older part of towns that has probably about the most deficiency in their sanitary sewer that allows rainwater going. So we're looking at preparing estimates to do investigations there. We cannot tell you what the cost is going to be until we investigate it. And the investigations are smoke testing, manhole inspection, flow monitoring, cleaning, and televising. But we're going to come back to the sewer board with a recommendation to do all that. We have some good news. On the Acorn Drive lift station, we have a possibility of abandoning one of the lift stations there. And what that means is that we'll no longer be paying for electrical pump, generator, maintenance on it by putting a gravity sewer in it. We're still doing an analysis on that. And with that also, we're talking to the Sanitary Sewer Board about having a workshop, and they like the idea of having a workshop. That will also be about an hour workshop. Lastly, just a couple days ago, we finished the SCADA contract review. What we did is we reviewed the work. There was like a 49-page report that went along with it, and in a thumbnail sketch on it, the work appears to meet the contract. It appears to be, it was great workmanship. It was high-quality material supplied. One thing the contractor did do, the contractor billed for 100% complete. And we came to the conclusion, and they agreed with us, they're not quite complete yet. We made a recommendation to the board to hold a retainage of about $112,000 on the contract. The contract is $1.1 million and change. So the $112,000 is about a 10% retainage. That's kind of an industry standard. After the work is finalized, we could look at the contract and we give you a recommendation from there on out. On your stormwater right now, there's not a lot of work being done on the stormwater besides being in compliance with MS4. MS4 is a state requirement, and MS4 stands for Municipal Separate Storm Sewer System Requirements. Currently, right now, we're keeping you within compliance, but there's some capital improvement projects that have to be done that there isn't a budget for. So you got to get that, think about how we're going to handle that in the future. So looking at all the things we talked about, the transportation, the water, the sewer, and the stormwater, there's a reoccurring theme here. The theme is we're trying to save you money on this. If we could reduce your Schererville water reliance, you could save money on it. Right now, you're paying $500,000. I truly believe when wells 8 and 9 are up and running and your filtration plant is running, you're not going to need that connection in the peak months. And I'm not recommending you disconnect from them. You keep it in there for emergency uses. You could help them out when they're in emergency. They could help you out on it. So that's a big savings. And on your sewer costs, you could also reduce your sewer costs by addressing some of your I&I coming out of it, which is your inflow and infiltration. And we're also trying to find funding for you. The CCMG, that's a no-brainer. I think every year you should be going after $1 million for it. It's like a 401k. You get your match. Get your $1 million match, do your $2 million job, you're paying 50 cents in a dollar. IFA funding, we've used this in the past, and it's a great vehicle to do it, especially with the longer terms. We may find different rates. There may be rates right now that could be as low as 2%, but typically it's about 50% what the bond buyer's market is. So that's another thing we're looking at. And then we like to do the planning part of this. We want to have be as transparent as possible and try to put the maps and exhibits so anybody could possibly follow it. So a resident come in and say, I get it. I see where this water main's going. I see where the paving is going to go. I'm seeing what next year's CCMG's plan is. And we know that they're just plans. We know also your priorities change. You do a 5-year paving plan, 3 years from now, it could be a different priority for you. But at least it's on a sheet of paper where people could look to and follow it along. And so it's been a pretty hectic 3 months, but we got a lot accomplished, I think. So if anybody have any questions, I'll be happy to answer it.
Thanks for giving us a report.
Thank you.
There's a lot there.
Thank you.
Are we able to get a map of the roads that you had mentioned that are going
Yes,
to
sir.
be into CCM&G?
Yeah.
That would be great.
So right now on that one, I'm working with Bob Davis, and Bob Davis chose the streets. He's a public works director on it. And we've got 2.5 years planned out, and he's working on the next 2.5 years. I could give you the map I'll give the whole board the map for the 2.5 years we got now. And then Bob, when he figures out what he wants to do, we got to try to do them in $2 million chunks. That's what we're trying to do it. So like I said, we can maximize the $1 million for forgiveness. So, okay?
Great.
I'll
Thank
make
you.
sure I get the board that whole map, okay? And can I point out one thing? A lot of help came from this. It wasn't working in a silo. The clerk's department helped us a lot. The public works helped us a lot. Mr. Wizawadi helped us out. Wayne helped us out a lot too on this. He was instrumental in going over some of the stuff. So I just want you to know that. So,
Great.
thank you.
Thank you.
First Group Engineer Evan Lavalette again. Just to give you guys an update on where we're at with the 93rd project. As you're aware, we opened up the bids this evening. We'll go ahead and review everything for you guys, get the bid recommendations, hopefully sometime early next week. Beth, I'm not sure if you guys, will you scan them to us or you guys hold on to the originals? Okay. So yeah, we'll pour over the numbers, make sure that the bidders who did turn a bid in, turned all the correct documentation in. And then, as I alluded to earlier, we're hoping for a notice to proceed to the contractor roughly in March, and then the contractor will be free to start whenever they want. You will currently see in the month of February and March a little bit of utility relocation going on, specifically on this south side of 93rd. We have some service poles that will be relocated. And then on Kyleman, NIPSCO Electric is going to be doing a little pole reconfiguration as the southeast corner of Kyleman and 93rd is being shuffled around a little bit. So you'll see should start seeing, now that this is a local project, the utilities will start moving now that we are going to be awarding the contract. So you'll start seeing some activity going on pretty shortly here. Other than that, it's just we'll be looking forward a construction start from the contractor in March or April. We'll have a pre-con sometime next month after all the documents are signed from the town and to the contractor. And is there anything else specifics you guys might have at this time? The job should be finished and completed by the end of November. I think we gave them to a December completion date. So it'll be a year-long construction process here.
We'll just keep monthly updates, for the public.
Yeah, that's not a problem. And if you back to the town council meeting every month or however
Or
you
just
guys
submit something.
Yeah, or we can submit something. Yes, we can keep you guys updated. Exactly where construction's at.
We can follow along.
Yep, that's not a problem.
Keep apprised of necessary detours and so on and so forth.
So yeah, the detour, we do have a pretty massive detour set up. So we're using some of the NDOT right away, and we're only going to eastbound traffic. So we do have local within the city detours, and then we have larger ones involving US 41.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Manager?
Thank you, Mr. President. So very pleased to report, I'm going to keep this brief too, that we were approved for our CDBG grant for 2022-23. We were awarded $80,456 for our pathways at the Gates Park. As Tom reported, we are submitted the CCMG for 2023. We're looking at 1.8 miles on 93rd Avenue, 1.98 miles on White Oak, which extends all the way from 93rd to 109th. And then we're doing Deodore and Parish Avenue from 93rd to 85th. So that's about $2.3 million worth of projects that we're doing. With the $1 million, we get about $1.3 million a match. Those funds are allocated in the budget under the various different funds that were allocated for that. So local road and streets, motor vehicle highway, cable, TV, riverboat, and ARPA. That's all I have.
Beth?
We are pleased to report that we did not require any requests for write-off for sanitation for the 2022 calendar year. We were unable to collect on a total of 3 accounts. The Board of Waterworks and Sanitary District, per our recommendation, determined further collection efforts were not warranted. The amounts were $297.17 in water charges and $483.40 in sewer charges, so it didn't make sense to hire a collections attorney to collect on such a small amount. For the month of December 2022, we processed 8,860 utility bills, which totaled $9.5 million. We billed a total of 811,158,000 gallons of water, with August, September, and October being our highest months. As far as investments are concerned, we had 2 investments that matured, totaling $3 million. We reinvested with BMO Harris, $1.85 million in a 6-month term at a rate of 4.702%. and $1.2 million in 12-month terms at a rate of 4.925%. This will bring our portfolio back to maturing every 3 months, so that was a positive. And Brian, rates were much higher than last time we discussed them. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Nice rates.
Yeah, those
Yep,
are great
yep.
rates.
very happy.
Town Council, Wayne, you have anything?
Not tonight. Thank you.
Jerry?
No, sir.
Brian?
No, sir.
Mike? Well, thank you guys for your support and being the next town council president. I look forward to serving the residents in this new role and